Is no one gonna ask what we're doing here?
Oh, what's the point?
Well, I think there is a point. We're all here, Gordon.
I was being sarcastic, Percy. You don't have to take everything I say literally.
Oh, thank God then. I never take you seriously.
No one asked you, little James.
That's enough, you two. We wait for Sir Topham Hatt. Plain and simple as that. Once he gets here, we'll be able to know what's going on.
If he gets here. Who knows where that man is nowadays?
He's probably at a restaurant somewhere, shoving his face with whatever he can find. Gordon! Sir, what a nice day it is, isn't it?
Well, you're all probably wondering why I've brought you here.
Yes, well, I think I know why we're here. Oh, yeah? What's that? Don't you know, Percy? He's gonna announce a new train for us to pull. Most likely, it's going to Gordon.
Well, James, you're not entirely wrong, but it's not a new one. In fact, it's a new engine.
Really, sir? A new engine? But we have so many. Well, knowing Sir Topham Hatt, he's probably saved an engine.
Oh, so true, Toby. So true. Well, that's not entirely true. I may have saved him. But this engine was given to the Northwestern as more of a gift, if you could say. Well, why would someone give you an engine? It's not like the entire world knows that you have the most versatile railway in the world. Well, that's just it, Gordon. It is another unique engine, but it's one that's very special indeed. In fact, he should be getting here soon. Oh, yes, I can see his steam now. Everyone, I would like to introduce you to the Isle of Sodor, one of 2 remaining P2 class locomotives in the world. Why, I think I've heard of you. Aren't you Lord Nigel?
Oh, yeah, I was, until I was renamed to Isle of Sodor after I was gifted to the Northwestern. I was given to the Gresleys as more of a condolences gift from my makers.
Well, if you're one of 2 locomotives in the world, then why aren't you in a museum? No offense.
Well, the Gresley families wanted me to have a good railway to live on, as they couldn't support me anymore, considering I'm a big, giant steam locomotive, so that was a key part in why they donated me. But otherwise, they really didn't want to. It was mainly just to save me from debt collectors and all that, so.
Yes, well, as I was saying, I've brought you all here to let you know that the Wild Northwestern will be in service again.
Really? Does that mean Gordon will have it?
Unfortunately, no, James. The Wild Northwestern, when it is finalized and reinstated, will go to Isle of Sodor. I am sorry about this, Gordon. Oh, don't worry about it, sir. I'm retired now, and I'm quite happy. It's quite peaceful on the lines when you're not zooming down them at the speed of light. Oh, well, that's good. Anyway, I wanted to introduce you all to him. That way you don't get confused when you see him going past the station. Because with the Wild Northwestern, it's a straight shot from this side of the island to Vickerstown.
I take it we're gonna have to tell the rest of the engines?
Yes, James. I would rather it you guys, because it gets around a lot faster with you engines. Faster than I could ever tell. So, I'm gonna go into my office, but while I do, you get acquainted with each other. I will see you later.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Isle.
You too. Was it James?
Yes.
So, how long have you been in operation?
Oh, how fast can you go? Surely it's faster than Gordon.
Shut up, Percy.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Slow Customs. And today's episode will be on Isle of Sodor. Now, Isle of Sodor is probably one of my favorite customs that I've done, because it's off of a favorite locomotive of mine. But I'll go over a tiny bit of lore for this dude, just because he's one that I actually really thought out for lore for an OC. So anyway, Isle of Sodor, at the time named Lord Nigel, was built to honor Sir Gresley before or after he passed. I can't quite remember when Nigel Gresley died, but depending on when I find out, it's either he was named in honor of Gresley because he passed, or honor because he was a very great engineer. Anyway, so Lord Nigel was built along the other P2s, as well as Prince of Wales, which was a cannon engine at the time, and instead of there being 6 P2s, there were 8 P2s that were built, with Isle and Prince of Wales being 2 of them. So, the years after they're built, they're still running express passenger services when World War II breaks out. So in World War II, Isle was selected because he was one of the better P2s that were out of all, and he was selected as fast freight goods for any of the soldiers that were needed. Well, in, I believe, 1942, about 3 years, maybe 2 years before World War II ended, he actually got into a very big accident, which left him injured, as you can see by the metal plate there. He refused to go into service, or go in for repairs and be retired, basically. So he basically told the workmen and all of them to screw a metal plate into him, basically. It's very, very brutal, but he did what he could to continue to support the UK. So, yeah. After that, he was returned back to the original makers, and he was pretty much forgotten about because the P2s kind of failed. So, after World War II ended, he was given to the Gresley family. Well, actually, no. When they had heard about Nigel's death in the years that he did die, they decided to give Lord Nigel at the time to the Gresley family as a condolences gift for the great man's death. So after a while, they pretty much had to store him in a shed because they couldn't operate such a big locomotive, and one that was pretty out of date and flawed. So around when my series takes place, he was donated to the Northwestern because they couldn't keep him running, and they wanted him to go onto a railway that would really support his needs and basically be a good railway like the Northwestern was. So he was gifted to Sir Topham Hatt, and then he was repainted and renamed to Isle of Sodor to become, a main representative of the island. So that's why he's painted in blue and orange and has Isle of Sodor on him. Yeah. And anyway, now that we're past the lore, we'll get into the custom. Now, the custom for Isle of Sodor was pretty simple, actually. All I had to do was take a Gordon and put pieces of cardboard over the boiler to not only raise it, but cover up the indent that he has on the model. And this is a, I believe, 2012 Gordon that I used. Yeah, 2012 CGI Gordon I used for this P2. So yeah. Anyway, he turned out really nice, actually. I like how the cardboard went over the boiler. It's not the cleanest by far, but it covers the boiler and makes it look a lot nicer. So yeah. The front part here, the smoke deflectors are just thin pieces of Pepsi box cut out and folded to give it that slanted top, or the slanted top that the P2's smoke deflectors had. So yeah. The face is the original 2012 Gordon face, just repainted because it was sun damaged a bit when I got it, so had to fix that. And the reason the patch is on his face is because there was actually a big dent or scratch in his face that I tried fixing with paint, but it really didn't work. So I just put this patch over it as like a metal repair patch. Kind of like what Thuggy has with his one eye. So that's just on there to cover up that indent. So it didn't look ugly. So yeah. I changed his eyebrows just to make it look a little different, just because. Otherwise, it's the same face, no modifications. So really nice. The wheels for Isle of Sodor is just the standard wheels painted black with blue and orange accents on them. Now, I actually came up with the design for Isle of Sodor on a computer, and I basically traced out an actual side view of the P2 locomotives, and I just basically edited it in a way to my Isle of Sodor. So yeah. The nameplate for Isle of Sodor is just sticker, or it's not sticker, it's just a piece of paper cut out and all that. And I decided to make his smoke deflectors the flag of Sodor, basically. I thought that'd be kind of a cool little detail with the orange stripes and the white and blue, because it was such a big space to add something. So that side's pretty much the same as this side. I kind of messed up on this side with the cut-in, but you can kind of get the detail of the Sodor flag, so that's nice. The boiler bands for Isle is just simple orange paint. Same I used for the wheels, same for this entire model, going around it. Now, I think I did too many, to be honest. I think I should have gotten rid of basically every other one, just to give it some more space, but I kind of like this, and I think it looks nice. He does have a handrail that goes across, pretty simple. Now, I had to put a piece of cardboard over his boiler here to not only raise it, but to make it flush with the cardboard that I had put over the boiler. Oh, I said boiler there too. I meant fireback box, sorry. So yeah, there is a bit of an dent, or like an indent on this side, which looks a lot nicer, but it didn't work out too well because the boiler on this 2012 Gordon was just slanted this way, so that's why there's not that much space. Anyway, pretty simple. Now moving on to the cab. The cab was actually very dented here. I had to fill it in with hot glue because I could not find my wood glue at the time, so that's why it looks all dodgy and crappy. But you won't see that side very often because this is the side that I really wanted to make look nice, but didn't really, but oh well. So that's just fixed with hot glue. The number for Isle, and by the way, his shorter name or nickname is Isle, just so you don't have to say Isle of Sodor every time. So Isle's number is 2008 because the P2s were numbered in 2000s with 1, 2, 3, all the way through 6. But with him being the last one built and Prince of Wales being canon as already built, he was numbered 2008. which is kind of ironic because that was the birth year of me. So, fun little Easter egg in there. So, that's nice. Otherwise, painted cab windows with gray, because I figured the black would look a little weird. So I just did it in gray like I do with most of my black locomotive windows. So, yeah. At the top, too, I tried to replicate what Spencer has, basically, on the top. With the triangle part that goes onto the boiler. Could have turned out better, but oh well. And honestly, Spencer probably would have been a better basis for this guy because his boiler was flush, but I had to use what I had. So, anyway, that's pretty much it with Isle. The blue also is the same blue I used for Victoria, so that's really nice. Figured I'd use that one because I wasn't going to use Victoria with this guy back to back, so that's good. Oh yeah, red buffer beam, pretty simple. So yeah, anyway, here's the tender. Now, I used the original Gordon tender that came with it, and just painted the wheels black, same with this one, did the highlights on it as well. The biggest problem I have with painting the wheels is that whenever I run them on a piece of track, they crack and chip, and it just makes it look ugly, so I have to constantly go over it with more paint to fix it. But anyway, on the bottom too is Isle of Sodor's tender as a name thing. I do this with a lot of my customs with a paint marker, so it comes out kind of shitty, but oh well. Then I just put Isle of Sodor on the bottom there too. The tender actually had to be built up with pieces of cardboard to get that curve that you can see and to fill in the other side curve here. Now, I tried to make it look as close to as an LNER tender as I could, but with the limited space, it just kind of looked awful. So I just decided to go with a simple rounded look tender, or rounded front tender like it is here, so it's nice. He also has Northwest or NWR on his side as representation. I could have made it look a little nicer with nice decals like that, but I figured I'd keep it with paint. So yeah, orange lining going around it too. Pretty simple. The back has a buffer beam as well with orange lining on the back. So overall, it's really simple tender, but yeah. This custom really isn't too special, but it is special to me because it's of a favorite locomotive of mine. Honestly, it's probably my second best, my second favorite, and I liked making this one. Mainly the smoke deflector part, because that really defines what a P2 is, at least in my book. So anyway, this is also kind of special for another reason, because this is the 50th SlowCustoms video that I've done. So, yippee! Now, the final video, looking at my timestamp right now, it's 13 minutes for this, and with the 5-minute skit at the beginning, it'll bring it up to a good 20-minute video if I don't ramble on longer, so didn't mean for that. Anyway, I just like to talk about, like, you guys and stuff like that in the channel, but I really appreciate you guys. With 227 subscribers in the span of 2-ish years, I didn't think I'd get there so quick, and I really appreciate you guys, especially with the supports on stream and just chilling with you guys on streams. So yeah, I'm very thankful for you guys. Anyway, don't know when the next stream is. Gonna have to wait for it. So, yeah. I think I'll end this long video here, and I will see you in the next one. So, goodbye.